In the United Kingdom, prosecutors are civil servants, and they are objective and independent from political influence. It's very important, in my view, because that eliminates the risk of prosecutors making decisions on the basis of what is going to be popular rather than what is actually right in the circumstances of a particular case. In the United Kingdom, there is a very strong tradition and ethos amongst prosecutors that the prosecution win no victories and they suffer no defeats. A prosecutor is there to impartially put the evidence before the jury and then test the evidence of the defense before the jury. The prosecutor is not there to get a conviction at all costs, and that is extremely important, I think, for the effective implementation of justice. In the United States, prosecutors very much are of the mindset that a conviction is a victory. And so it's very important for them to, when they come to assessing their own success, that they assess it on the basis of conviction rates. That is the mentality, that is the culture, and that is the approach. And I think it's a dangerous approach, because if you are more motivated by getting convictions than you are for securing justice and fairness for individuals, you will be more likely to not behave in a fair way when perhaps evidence comes to light which is going to damage the prosecution case. You may well be more reluctant to disclose that evidence to the defense. You may well find yourself in a situation where perhaps an individual who is not quite so culpable, you would want to pressurize to perhaps give evidence against other individuals, and that can create huge problems, I think. The Enron task force was set up to do a particular job, and they were extremely vigorous. They demonstrated a very strong appetite to get convictions. I think if the Enron case had happened in the United Kingdom, a very different approach would have been adopted to the prosecution of that case. Because we don't have a plea bargaining system, it would have been very difficult to apply pressure to the more junior and potentially culpable individuals in the company who knew about the wrongdoing and may have been involved in it, to plead guilty and give evidence against others. It would have been a very different trial. It probably would have lasted a lot longer. It probably would have taken a great deal of time to properly investigate. I suspect that fewer people would have pleaded guilty as pleaded in the United States because the incentive to plead guilty would not have existed to the same degree in the United Kingdom. When thinking about the United States system, it's important that people have in mind primarily the power of the prosecution.